Hi everyone, Trina in 8.7 Origins of Soul, and we are so close to being done with this book. I'm going to miss it. I love this book. It's been wonderful. So we just got done talking about the Archangel Michael and his case story and his journey through his soul's evolution. And we have one more, and this is Sarah Lawrence Cherubim. So we're going to see what they got to say about Sarah's case. So in this life, Sarah works with the blind, helping them to sense and feel colors, and awakening their hearing and other senses to have richer, more fulfilling lives. The age of her soul is 7.5 billion years, a mid-level master soul. The third order angel as a cherubim, using sound and light to transform others. How many elements? This soul has 3 elements. Water, 3 billion years. Air, 0.75 billion years. And earth, 1.75 billion years. A planetary angel, oh, sorry about that, my hair got caught in my glasses. A planetary angel, this soul is focused on harmony and love at the global level. She spent 5.5 billion years in the 6th and 7th dimensions before arriving in the 5th because of the long amount of time that she spent in the water kingdom. She is naturally attuned to the creative arts, that contact with the elementals, and also to the healing arts. Okay, so this is telling me, because of the long amount of time spent in the water kingdom, which she spent 5.5 billion years in the 6th and 7th dimensions. 6 and 7 dimensions, then, those must be water. Put all this together in my head. So, yeah, okay. So because of the long amount of time she spent in the water kingdom, she is naturally attuned to the creative arts, contact with elementals, and also in the healing arts. And that's because of the 6th and 7th dimensions that she spent a long time in the water. Interesting. Length of time in the 5th dimension, 7.5 million years, where she became a creative muse, inspiring the minds and the hearts of others in the 3rd and 4th dimensions. Numbers of galaxies, only in the Milky Way. Planets in the 4th dimension, 22, 5 of which were primarily water worlds. Here she spent 50,000 years as a devic spirit, instructing others in the 3rd dimensions below. She spent 10,000 years as a fairy on both 4th and 3rd dimensional planets. She was a fairy. That's cool. Planets in the 3rd dimension. 4. Earth is her 4th, 3rd dimensional world. She arrived in Lemuria 40,000 years ago as a devic spirit, summoned by a priestess of Lemuria to help harmonize the grids. That's crazy. I've seen that in a past life where I was a light body, and I think Lemuria, because we weren't fully physical in Lemuria. Some bodies were more physical, but most of them weren't fully formed of matter yet. We were more still light bodies. And I saw the interaction between the spirits of the fairies and the elves and the trolls and all of the unicorns, and it was the nature connection. We could talk to each other. It was very, very connected and very different when we were still in the times of Lemuria, before we got much more of our density and our magnetics added to our systems. So then she returned to Sirius B, home worlds, as to acquire her aquatic human. So she was an aquatic human on Sirius B homeworlds. Interesting. She lived on that planet for the better part of 20,000 years. Eventually, she took birth as a mermaid on Earth in the Pacific Ocean for about 5,000 years. Eventually, she became fully human 6,300 years ago. Major life themes. Gender, 63% female in her lifetimes, developing the gifts of intuition, compassion, and wisdom. Family, married in 29% of her lifetimes, with children in 18% of them, dying in childbirth in 2 of them. Religious or spiritual lifetimes. 41% of all of her lives on earth have been dedicated to spiritual service. This includes being a priestess in 12 separate lives, 5 of which were in Egypt, including 2 lives that were spent in the temples of Dendera, dedicated to Hathor, doing light and sound healing work. 2 lives were spent in Greece. 1 was dedicated to Aphrodite and 1 to Athena. 5 lifetimes as a priest, 3 of which were spent in Greece in the temples of Apollo at Delphi and the temples of Poseidon, and the life of a nun in Spain in the late 1500s. Strong spiritual gifts developed in all of these lifetimes, including the gifts of an oracle, as she once was, as well as a dancer, a poet, a singer, and a musician. The arts, 53% of her lives were spent in the arts. The breakdown of her artistic talents include 5 lives spent as a singer, 15 as a dancer, 12 as a musician, 9 as a painter, 2 as a sculptor, 3 as a craftsperson doing mosaic tiles, 5 as a weaver, and 5 doing needlepoint, 3 involving some acting, 1 in the circus while working with animals, and riding bareback on circus horses. She even 7 acting as a creative muse for others, and 5 lifetimes as a poet. Healing, 60% of her lives have been spent in developing her healing gifts. The breakdown includes 9 lives as an herbalist, 5 working with crystals, 9 working with the healing effects of light, sound, and music, 3 working with color therapy and the effects of color healing on the aura and the physical body, 9 learning to channel direct healing energy through the hands, and 5 lives as a druid, 3 of these in BC period time, and 2 in the last 2,000 years, 1 during which she lost her life. Nobility born in about 25% of her lifetimes. In order to help others, 12% born into the artisan class. In more recent times, this soul has a strong history in the Nile of Egypt, as well as in the Native American tribes, and particularly in the island cultures of the Pacific. Because of her love of water, she is incarnated on the Hawaiian Islands in at least 8 lifetimes. In one of these she was a female matriarch and a tribal leader. In another, she was revered as an incarnation of the mother goddess because of her ability to communicate with the spirits of the land, water, wind, and volcano. Also, she could communicate directly to the ocean and the earth. She considers all beings her children. These were lives in which she was completely in spiritual service to the divine, inspiring and wisely guiding her people to connect with their inner selves. Beautiful. Soul blocks. Vows. 140 vows. Originally, this soul has made many vows and many commitments during the course of her spiritual service to others. But as a master soul, she had dissolved many of them. And so today she is not bound in this present time by many of those agreements. 20 of these original vows still serve her, but the rest should be cleared immediately. Curses, she has none. Bindings, 300 small tendrils connected to her third chakra, to those people who she is still sworn to assist in past lives. It would be best to clear these, since they are collective and they drain her energy bodies. Erroneous belief systems formed in times of trauma. Only 21, a very low number. These beliefs are primarily about not feeling totally safe, inhabiting a physical body since she was reluctant to move from the worlds of fairies and mermaids into the full density of Earth. To be more effective, she needs to release these fears and reservations so that she can fully more inhabit her body. Summary. This beautiful, highly advanced master soul has come in again and again to bring wisdom, beauty, harmony, and balance to Earth. She did not have to return to this planet, but came back because of a vow that she made at the time of Lemuria. A vow to assist the human race in its spiritual evolution. Her deeper life themes involve helping to heal people of the planet by raising them to higher energetic frequency. Where the conflict and stress of her daily life seems to fall away, she has done this in lifetimes in both the healing and creative arts. She has brought joy, love, laughter, and inspiration to others through the use of her many artistic healing gifts. And that is the end of Angelic Origins of Soul. So we are bringing gifts, talents, wisdom to every single incarnation that we come into. And through these incarnations, we're sharpening our tools and we're gaining new wisdom, also new karma, new vows, new bindings, new curses. All of these things seem to be very present too in the things that we experience and take on as a soul. So with that, guys, we have some clearing and some cleaning to do. It's time to start cleaning house and getting into these old contracts and these old bindings and release them and heal them and clear them and clean them. The way I do most of my binding cutting is I use the sword of Archangel Michael, and it cuts through those cords like they're butter. So one way to cut cords, if you guys want to, imagine Archangel Michael with a blue sword and invoke the cutting, cleaning, healing, and releasing of all bindings and all cords. And see if there's anything that you need to know about them before you release them, and have gratitude for the wisdom that they will serve and bring to you through these experiences. But release the charge, release the trauma. It no longer serves you. So, this is the journey of our soul. In the very beginning of this book, she spoke about the eternal flame as an expression of our soul. And it says, I did not begin when I was born, nor when I was conceived. I have been growing, I have been developing through incalculable myriads of millennium. All of my previous selves have their voices, their echoes, and their promptings within me. Oh, incalculable times, again shall I be born. Jack London. So, our ancestors have embraced the belief in reincarnation, the mechanism through which the soul leaves the world and returns once again, learning lessons over vast cycles of time. These cycles of living and dying and being reborn is just as essential to the soul as it is sleep to the body. Each night, just as we travel into these inner worlds to dream at night, so does the soul return to its celestial home. At the end of every lifetime, to assess its progress and renew its reconnection with the source of who it is. Thus, every life is but one day of the unfolding progress of your soul in your soul's evolution. So all of us have come to Earth to face challenges, to live out our dreams, and then return to the heavenly realms from which we came, to integrate all that we have learned. And once there, the soul has access to a far more expanded awareness of itself and the oneness that connects us all. And we shall see there are many levels to these heavenly realms, and each of us will be drawn to the vibrational level that is most appropriate to our current level of evolution. This is why we're all drawn to the same information and the same frequencies. We've been through much of this together, and we're vibrating on a similar field of resonance. And this means many of us, when we go home, we're going to see each other there. So I love you, Soul Tribe. We will begin with a new series, and we will be going into the return of the Divine Sophia. So this is what we're going to get into next, and I can't wait to get into this information because Tricia McCannon, we are soul sisters, and she is a beautiful writer and a talented conveyor of this wisdom. So I have so much gratitude for her book and her words and her experiences, and they resonate with me on a very deep level. So we'll get into the next one very soon. What a way to end the year, to end the book, and begin with the Divine Sophia. I have a feeling this is not an accident. I have a feeling the universe is doing this on purpose. So I'm just here to go on the ride with you all and pay attention to the information as it comes to me, process it and digest it as best as I can, learn, heal, and love myself through it. And hopefully you all can do the same thing. And I am here with you, doing the work with you, and I'm here to support you in any way I can. I love you all, and I'll see you soon. Bye.